is Gianna, and if you clicked on this video, it is probably because you are sick and tired of being a people pleaser, and I am going to help you get out of that. So when it came to me, the number one thing I struggled with was more like my fear of confrontation, you know, always being so agreeable and basically not wanting to ruffle any feathers. The number one realization you have to have when it comes to it is not your problem how somebody else chooses to react to you setting your boundary. You know, if people are so used to you always saying yes, always being so agreeable, always just going with the flow all of the time and being super indecisive, then honestly, like, they are gonna kind of get a little bit like, well, at least the ones that were benefiting off of you being so passive, they're gonna get a little irritated and you are gonna see some true colors. That is the number one thing too. If you are ready to step out of this version of being a people pleaser, you need to be aware, you need to accept the fact that you will see true colors. And not all of them are gonna be pretty, but at the end of the day, like, if you are on the road to making yourself happy, if you're on the road to bettering yourself in any way, that should be the least of your worries. And I think it took a while for me to realize, like, it's safe for me to just be. It's safe for me to be myself. It is safe for me to say no. It is safe for me not to want to put up with certain people. It is safe for me to make my own decisions. And you know, there's a difference between being a bitch and coming out of a place where you were everybody else's bitch for so long. And I feel like when you have that balance too, like when you're getting out of that mindset of like, oh, but what if they get mad? And start getting into the mindset of, but do I really want to do that? Or am I just doing that because it seems like the easiest choice, or it seems like the more probable choice? You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but with people pleasing, it's very important to have that root, like that grounding, and honestly feeling very safe with yourself at least, because you're gonna need that to carry you forward. Because when push comes to shove and there is moments where people are, because the universe will test you guys, the universe really will be like, okay, are you really ready to step into your power, or are you just going to kind of backslide and kind of like let everything else play out for a while, you know? And honestly, you know, guilty. Like, the universe has tested me so many times too with that. But at the end of the day, like, it is a choice. Second thing is, since you're throwing out that version of you, you're gonna need to throw out any consistent reminders of that version of you. For example, let's just say you're always wearing purple, right? And in your people-pleasing era, and not saying that purple's a very fucking beautiful color, but you know what I mean? Like, let's just say you're consistently seeing these things and you are a certain version of yourself. How are you going to outgrow that version of yourself when you're still wearing the same stuff, when you're still doing the same things? So for me, I definitely, you know, got rid of a bunch of clothes. I started, you know, doing my hair again. You know, there was a time where I loved doing my hair and I kind of stopped because I felt like I had to dim myself down for everybody else to feel comfortable around me, right? And then I started doing what I liked, you know, I started doing what I wanted to do. And more importantly for me, I realized that the number one thing with me, other than, you know, that whole fear of ruffling feathers or whatever, here's the thing, people are gonna blame you for shit, whether it's your fault or not anyways. Let me say that again. People will blame you for shit, whether it is your fault or not anyways. So might as well do what you want to do. Might as well be what you want to be. Might as well reach the achievements that you want to reach, regardless of who else agrees with you. And honestly, I understand it's a lot easier said than done. But the thing about me is that, like, if I want something, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to make a way. Whether it's the long way, whether it's a shorter path. But I'm going to find a way. You have to have that mindset with yourself, like, you know, if I want this for myself, I'm gonna do it. Takes me a year, takes me a month, takes me a week, takes me 2 years. I'm gonna do it. Takes me 20 fucking years. I'm gonna fucking do it. Excuse the aggression, but I'm just very excited because I feel like when you really get into that version of yourself where you're finally feeling fucking good and you're finally like, you know what, fuck that shit. Because here's the thing, with me at least, and I know a lot of you guys can probably resonate with this too, you're very sensitive to your surroundings in the sense where you're very empathic. Like if somebody's sad, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna want to help them. But what happens when you're always the one to help them? You become the, you know what, I'll call it the beanbag. You become the beanbag. Beanbags are comfortable. People feel better when they're crying on beanbags. But the beanbag is getting fucking squished. You don't want that. You want to have a clear boundary of like, how much is too much for me? If anything, at least start there. Okay, another thing you can do is, for me, I started doing my makeup a little more to enhance the version of me. You know, colors, they really do bring out certain energies, you know, to step into more creative energies, try to bring out a little bit of orange, you know. Obviously, for me also, I kind of looked into my astrology to see what works for me, what doesn't. That's also another very useful tool that you can have, especially when it comes to people pleasing, believe it or not, because you'll actually see indicators of why you're a people pleaser in the first place. Like for me, I'm a Libra rising. But rewinding back to what I was saying, write down, what does she smell like? What does he smell like? You know, like whoever you are, imagine that version of yourself. What perfume are we wearing? What cologne are we wearing? What's our style? You know, like how do we like to do our hair? When we get up in the morning, what's the first thing we do? And honestly, get out of the routine you have been. If you're very like attached to your routines, I would say do this more subtly so that you're more kind of easing with it. But if you're somebody that's like me, when I was like, fuck yeah, I'm ready for this, let's get the fuck out. You know, do whatever it feels good to you. Another thing is that I know that this is going to resonate with my sensitive people, because personally me, you know, I was the type of person where you told one thing that hurt my feelings, I start crying. Like, why'd you say that to me? But at the end of the day, I realized, like, with a lot of internal reflection, I realized the reason why I felt so sensitive, one, my sacral was way overactive. Number two, like, honestly, balancing your chakras really does help with this. But I wasn't giving myself the validation that I was looking for everywhere outside of myself. And that was the number one mistake I was making in my people-pleasing era. And as much as I look back at that now, and I'm like, you know, that's so sad. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to go through all that. I'm glad I did, because at the end of the day, I learned from it. And now, today, I can confidently walk forward and be like, you know what? Hey, at least I learned. And I'm the type of person where it's like, let's just say something is kind of getting a little crazy, right? And let's just say something isn't going as planned. I'm going to laugh about it. Why? Because I'm going to laugh about it later anyways. You know, why take life so serious all of the time? You know, enjoy life. You know, we come on this planet, we're so programmed to do certain things, you know, work a 9 to 5, raise family, just like pay taxes, I don't fucking know. But yeah, we're so programmed to do all these things as a society, as a collective, that's what separates us from our very own individuality. So if you're listening to me still, and you're listening to me talking, but if you're here still, I want you to know that you're here for a reason. And if you're watching this video still, you're obviously meant to level up. So part of my channel is going to be like, let's level up together. Like, let me motivate you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And honestly, like, even as a collective, let's work together to raise our vibration, to really be our best selves, to be our most original, our most independent, our most happiest selves, because fuck everything else if you ain't happy. That's the truth. Hashtag, actually, fuck the hashtag. Like the Game Plan movie, you learn it, live it, love it. And honestly, I always kind of memed that with my mom, because anytime we were going through like any type of thing or situation, it's the game plan. You learn it, live it, love it. And honestly, that's what I'm gonna tell you guys, you know, learn it, live it, love it. But yeah, set your intentions, especially today, you guys. I don't know when you're gonna be seeing this, but today is 11/11 portal. If you're going to quantum shift, and actually I'm going to get more into that in my future videos, and I'll also do some story times. But I'm honestly, this channel is gonna be all over the place. But it's okay because it just is. Because I said so. Because I decided that it is. That's the mindset you should have when it comes to your life. You know, I decided, I said so, it is. Another thing about that is that you will enter a villain era. Shit, you know, and I'm giving you fair warning. You will enter your villain era where you are on a roll. Like, you're saying no, 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 fuck no. And you're just going and going and going. Because you're gonna have been so fed up of putting everybody else's baggage and needs in front of your own that, like, you're just gonna be like, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. And you're gonna have, like, this kind of, I don't want to say isolation, but you're gonna feel good for saying no, and it's gonna make you want to say no even more. And that is honestly a very fun part of the journey, honestly, because at the end of the day, like, you're embracing something that you're accomplishing. You know, you're starting to feel different. You feel good. Why not? You know. Another thing about that is that when you finally, like, genuinely start to see for yourself that you're shifting even your mindset, even if you haven't shifted realities, just by your mindset shifting, you're gonna see the physical follow. Like, I remember there was I don't remember where I saw it, I think it was TikTok, but someone was saying that, actually I think it was the Wizard Liz, where she said that when you heal, your physical body heals too, like, it shows in your features. It's a true thing. And honestly, that's the same thing when it comes to timeline jumping and quantum, more parallel shifting. But yeah, so if you're afraid because you feel like you're not going to be accepted if you stop people pleasing, then you are surrounded by the wrong people. But the good thing about that is that you will find people that will love you for who you're becoming. They'll love you for you. And the people that genuinely do love you for you, they ain't going anywhere. Inspiration by Gianna. Maybe now I have my passions. Maybe because now I'm not afraid. Singing here on my behalf. I learned so much by being so quiet. Look at me now shining. So long to this person all of my life. Look at me now shifting. Transformation. I feel so alive. It's liberating.